When you think of a heist, you usually picture bank robbers stealing bags of cash or diamonds from a secure vault. You do not picture an army stealing an entire enemy radar base. But in 1969, the Israeli military pulled off what is widely considered one of the most audacious, insane, and creative military heists in human history. They did not just blow up an enemy facility. They literally picked it up, strapped it to helicopters, and flew it home. Today we are breaking down Operation Rooster 53, explaining why stealing a 4-ton Soviet machine was exactly what was needed to win the sky. The story begins during the War of Attrition, a fierce conflict between Israel and Egypt along the Suez Canal. Egypt had a massive advantage because they were supplied by the Soviet Union. The Soviets gave Egypt a brand new piece of technology called the P-12 radar. This radar was incredibly advanced and could detect Israeli fighter jets even when they were flying dangerously low to avoid detection. It essentially created an invisible, impenetrable shield over the sky. The Israeli Air Force realized that if they wanted to win, this radar had to be neutralized. The first and most obvious plan was simply to drop a bomb on the radar and destroy it. But two young soldiers from an aerial photography unit had a completely different idea. They looked at the photos and suggested that instead of blowing it up, they should send commandos to physically steal it. If they could bring it back intact, scientists could study the Soviet technology and figure out exactly how to defeat it forever. It sounded like an action movie script, but the military leadership eventually agreed. The ultimate heist was officially approved. On the night of December 26, 1969, the mission began. Elite Israeli paratroopers were quietly dropped miles away from the target to avoid making any noise. They marched through the freezing desert and crawled the last few dozen meters to take the Egyptian guards completely by surprise. Within minutes, they captured the site, but taking the radar was only the first step. The commandos then had to act like mechanics, using specialized tools to physically dismantle the massive 4-ton metal structure so it could be airlifted. To get the radar home, the military sent in their newest, most powerful helicopters, the CH-53 Sea Stallion. The commandos hooked the heavy radar to the cables, and the pilot pulled up. But there was a massive problem. The radar was significantly heavier than anyone had estimated. As the helicopter lifted off, the extreme weight caused a critical hydraulic failure. The pilot was fighting for his life to keep the aircraft in the sky, flying dangerously low over the Red Sea. Despite the catastrophic strain, the pilot refused to drop the cargo and miraculously managed to drag the massive machine all the way back to friendly territory. Here is an incredible fact to wrap up this story. The intelligence gathered from this stolen radar did not just help Israel. It became a massive geopolitical victory for the United States. During the Cold War, the US desperately wanted to understand Soviet technology. Israel shared the radar's secrets with the American military, allowing the US to upgrade its own defense systems. According to military historians and politicians, the value of that single stolen radar to the American defense industry was estimated to be around $3 billion. Operation Rooster 53 proves that sometimes the most effective weapon in a war is not a bigger bomb, but pure, reckless creativity. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video.